Hello, welcome to another episode of Clive's Conversation with you. Thank you for having this conversation with me on New Year's Eve. At least I will not feel so lonely. Today is the last day of 2020. Did you plan to have a countdown this year? Don't be disheartened that we cannot have our large group parties because we can still celebrate safely at the comforts of our home. Speaking of which, how has your 2020 been so far? Let's head out to find out more.
Hello, Jaya.
Hi.
Yeah, so how has your 2020 been?
It's been interesting because I think I started 2020 thinking that, it'll be a certain way, you have a lot of things that I'm going to do this, I'm going to go to this place. And I think a lot of my plans included traveling. Let's go to this new place, this looks Instagrammable and all. But I think with the pandemic that recently happened, suddenly all the plans have changed. And I think I've spent more time at home and doing a lot of my work at home. But I think I've been very lucky compared to a lot of people. I think my work wasn't very largely disrupted. I don't think I had to sacrifice a lot of my income as well. So in that case, I think I've been blessed.
So were there any major changes for your work?
I think the physical traveling obviously stopped because of our circuit breaker. But I think for me, because I am a copywriter and I'm also a tutor, I teach like scholar programs and of course like JC English and all that. I didn't have to sacrifice a lot of my work. I could just shift that and do that online instead. But it took a while to get used to it because it's not something that I'm familiar with. And we know that there's video calling, but it's really not something that we did. I don't even think we WhatsApp video called our friends before, it's always just a phone call or you meet your friends personally. So that was difficult at the start because suddenly you have to figure out like Zoom video calls and like sharing screens, and then you end up sharing like all the wrong screens and then like emailing documents. I think that took a while.
So do you personally enjoy working from home?
Oh, that's a good question. I think yes and no. I think this year, because I could work from home, I think I genuinely was able to teach more students, take more classes, do more writing projects. So I think 2020, despite the pandemic, I think I have worked more this year than I have probably in the past 2 to 3 years. Because I think the number of works, because you're at home, the number of work and projects that I get, I think I got more, and I think I completed more of them. So in that way, it's good.
Hello, Wei-Wen.
Hi.
Hope 2020 has been good for you. Yeah, so how has your 2020 been actually?
Okay. For my 2020 actually, it's a very interesting year because I actually did a lot of things for the first time. Yeah, so like first time I do a photography workshop, and then first time I do a full-time job. Yeah, and then first time I got my MacBook. First time I did wedding shoot, and also first time registering my business.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that happened for the first time this year. Yeah.
So Nelly, how was 2020 for you?
I think 2020, a lot of people maybe had to accept a lot of different circumstances, things they were not used to, a lifestyle they are not used to, and I think that sometimes can get to people lah. But I think perhaps one thing that really struck me this year was that sometimes it's just meant to be. Maybe you just need to go through this difficulty, this hurdle for you to learn something. Then it will bring you to new places, open new doors, and then because of the person you have become, you are then able to handle the new challenges that come your way. Like I think I have some friends who quit their job. Like the moment during circuit breaker, then they quit their job. Then I like, why? Like isn't this the time you want to hold on to
Something secure.
Yeah, so it's not one, I think I have 3 friends. So I asked them and then they said the working from home make them evaluate, how am I spending my time? How come now I have so much more time with my family? And they realize that family is something you take for granted, and I think we have been. So sometimes even though things may be different, definitely not what you expect, not part of your goals and not part of your this, by this age I need to do this, but it couldn't happen this year, then it's nobody's fault, right? So I think moving forward it's important to think about, then okay, looking back at this year, then I learned these skills, then perhaps this skill 2021 and beyond with this new resilience that we have built, then yeah, I mean, you never know, right, what will come your way.
Wow, it seems like 2020 is a year of unprecedented events when we experienced many firsts. Do you recall the panic buying in the supermarkets and the masks were sold out when the DORSCON was raised from orange at the start of the year? Did you experience fear and anxiety due to the uncertainties? And also, from April to June, Singapore went through 2 months of circuit breaker. Did you have to adapt to the new normal, such as home-based learning, working from home, or even becoming a zombie? Some of us may have experienced cabin fever, but kudos to all of you. You did well and went into phase 2 straight after the end of circuit breaker. And wow, how far have we come? We are now on to phase 3. Give yourself a round of applause. Well done. Our economy is also slowly opening up with the safe distancing measures and also swab tests put in place. We have also learned to embrace all things digital, from safe entry to trace together for contact tracing, to ordering food online, and now even welcoming our digital banks next year. Wow, what an eventful year. Give yourself a pat on the shoulder. What have you learned in 2020? Let's hear from you.
Is there any greatest lesson in 2020?
I think there's been a few. I think the first thing I learned is that a lot of the things that we do doesn't have to be physical. Like, we don't have to physically be available or present at a place to get something done. We can also effectively do something without being there. But having said that, I also feel that 2020, I learned that it's okay to say no. You know, I think I think this for me personally, I feel like when I was working in 2018, 2019, I think a lot of times that, you know, I have a lot of projects that are given to me, and I feel like, okay, maybe this project is not really worth the time or the effort, but you're like, it's okay, let's just do it. You know, but I think in 2020, because I wanted to spend that time doing other things, like, okay, you know, I wanted to like improve my physical fitness and my health. Because I had so much of time, I was able to, I think, consciously tell myself that, okay, there are some projects that I just shouldn't do because it takes up too much of time for too little remuneration. So let's just focus our efforts on something else. And I think that made me happier. Yeah, despite the pandemic, which sounds very, which sounds really bad. Like, as a person just saying it, I realize it sounds bad, but I think it's made me happier.
I think it's because of the better resource management.
Yeah.
And then you spend more time taking care of yourself.
Correct. But I also really enjoyed the fact that I got to spend a lot of time on myself this year, which I feel like when I was working previously, it was just like a constant, like, just chase. You know, I'm constantly just chasing time and like trying to get through the day, and then like before you know it, the week is over. Before you know it, the year is over. You know, yeah. So that's been different in 2020. Yeah.
So, what do you think is your greatest lesson for 2020?
Okay. I mean, for 2020, I think I learned a lot. But one of the greatest lessons that I learned is learn how to say no. Because I'm someone that actually don't know how to reject people. So in the past, actually, I always say yes to people. Like, even though their request is not to my benefit, I will just say yes because I don't know how to reject people. But right now, I think I'm able to say no because I don't want to create this unhappiness like when we do things for people. Yeah, so that's what I learned for 2020.
So were there things that you learned from 2020? Like any greatest learning lesson you feel through this incident of COVID-19?
I think, like, you know, there's always been emphasis on soft skills and like, you must be adaptable, you must be flexible, you must learn how to, you must have like skills with people, etc., etc. I think 2020 really brought that out. Because if we were not flexible and adaptable in our business, it would have been very hard to survive circuit breaker. Yeah, because we basically pivoted into a mode of sales that was not our primary mode. So primarily people come in and dine. Then maybe delivery to 10%, 20%, it suddenly became like 80, 90%. Yeah. So I think to just be okay with change and try not to react too badly. I mean, sure, panic, but I think that was my lesson. I'm very glad that my team was very adaptable and very like, okay, when we do this, you know, then everybody just switch. I think that gave me a lot of support.
Yeah, are 3 takeaways we have in 2020. Number 1, teamwork makes the dream work. We are all living in a highly connected world. The ripples of our action, or the lack of, can create a huge impact on others without us knowing. Some of us will be like, wow, when can I stop wearing masks? Or it's so troublesome to keep doing safe entry check-ins when we enter the malls and all. However, in order to successfully stop the spread, we have to do our due diligence to protect ourselves and our loved ones. So let's continue to be socially responsible. If each of us do our part well, we can overcome all challenges together. Number 2, cut ourselves some slack in terms of perfection. Remember that we are all adapting to the new normal, something that we have never experienced before. So let's be understanding. Have you ever encountered a case where you left the house without your mask and some kind souls out there pass you one? So it is important for us to show empathy and let's help each other and let's not judge. Also, be willing to open yourself up to adapt to these changes. Do go with the flow and know that these tough times will end. When your problems seem too huge, bring it up. What is the first step you need to take to get things moving back on track? So give yourself a pat on the back each time when you overcome a challenge. Let's celebrate every win. Press on. Number 3, be thankful always. Don't just focus on the negative. If you keep looking at the bad side of things, you might miss the good. Remember, while the glass is half empty, it is also half full too. Studies have shown that gratitude can help to reduce your toxic emotions, increase your happiness index, and also improve the mental strength. Recognizing that all you have to be thankful for, even during your worst time of your life, can build up your resilience. So for me, I'm very thankful to have this opportunity to be able to connect with you through Clive's conversations. Let us count our blessings together. What are you thankful for? You are probably more than ready to say goodbye to 2020 and can't wait to welcome 2021. How can you make 2021 count? Here are 2 simple tips for you. Number 1, do not forget all the good things and also all the bad things you have learned in 2020, be it through self-reflection or hard lessons. And remember to implement into the new year. Number 2, goal setting. Setting goals is the first step to turning the invisible into the visible. So do you believe in goal setting? Let's hear from you.
So for because now it's towards the end of the year.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you believe in New Year resolution?
Not really. I'm not big on New Year resolutions, but I do enjoy setting goals for myself. But I'm not very fixed on like writing resolutions. I used to, but I realized that it doesn't really work for me because I like kind of ignore them after like the first month. I'm like, okay, I've written them. I probably focus on them like the first month, and then after I ignore them. So, but I do set goals for myself. But the goals on the things that I want to get done for the year, they can not change, but I think like I add new things as and when something interests. Like 2020, I did not start the year saying that I wanted to focus on myself and my physical fitness. But when the pandemic hit and all we had was like just time and we had nothing else to do, I told myself, hey, this is a great time to focus on myself, and just like doing things that I think would make me not smarter, but I think just give me a little bit more knowledge, so that I don't feel like I'm in a rut, I'm just doing the same thing over and over again.
Then for 2021, because we are going to start we are ending 2020 and starting 2021. Do you personally believe in New Year resolution?
Okay. Actually, in the past, like 3 years ago, I don't believe in New Year resolution. Yeah, because I don't feel a need to do that. Yeah, but after meeting a group of like-minded friends, I actually started to believe in doing resolution. And also reading some books and self-improvement book and stuff, I realized that it's very important to have your own goals and direction. And actually, like a few years back, I was quite lost in life. So I started to write down like things I want to achieve, of goals and all that. Yeah, and from there I start to know what I want. And I realized that when you write it down, it actually helps with your subconscious mind. And it's also a commitment to yourself. Yeah, so it doesn't matter that you need to achieve it or not, because as you progress, you will slowly achieve the New Year resolution, the goals that you want.
So do you personally believe in New Year resolution?
Making them or
Yeah, making them. Writing your own New Year resolution at the end of
every year. I mean, I don't see like a New Year resolution as like, oh, it's a new year, so I think it's more like a goal setting, right? Like you set a goal for yourself, like, oh, this year I'm going to be fit, or this year whatever you want to say lah. But I believe in setting goals, but I don't think it's like New Year per se. Like, so I think like if you make a resolution, then when you reach it, then you can move on to the next one. It may be March, you know, it may be May, but like it's fine lah.
So you're not confined to just a 12 months.
Yeah. But I mean, of course, some things take time or something need to be maintained. So you will not like you say, oh, I want to go to the gym more often. I mean, your goal is to be fit. Then you after 12 months then you stop. You know what I mean? So you
You need to maintain
lah,
that.
yeah.
Understand.
So I think depend on your goal, but it's good lah. I mean to say that, you know, in this new year I'm going to commit to maybe doing 5 things and then to do them.
Okay.
I mean the making of the resolution is one thing. The following through is the more important thing.
That's true.
Giving yourself a personal goal for the new year is a great way to make positive changes in your life. In one study, it is discovered that those who set goals are 10 times more likely to change their behavior than those who don't. However, did you realize that the gym is always packed in January, but by the time in February, many people started to miss their workouts? Studies have also shown that only 12% of people who made their New Year resolutions were successful in achieving their goals. So, what is the trick? Let's review here. Here are 3 simple tips from us. Number 1, limit your resolutions. Ever listed 10 different goals and then you forgot all of them 1 week later? Remember that your brain cannot remember a long list. So it can be also very daunting, especially when change requires time and sustained effort. A long list of goals will only increase your inertia to start taking action. And also, a bonus tip is that you should never make the exact same goal year after year. If you have always done what you have always done, you'll always get what you've always gotten. And this will diminish your self-belief, making it even harder for you to move forward. So instead, be practical. Choose 1 or 2 new goals. And ask yourself this: why is this goal important to you? What difference will it make in your life? Always dig deeper, because it always starts with why. This is also important because purpose fuels persistence and reasons come before results. Number 2, write it down. Ambiguity is the enemy of accomplishment. In this fast-paced world where we are always distracted, writing your goals forces you to be clear with what you want. Don't write for the sake of writing. You should also look at your goals often. So a tip for you is to read it to yourself every morning so that it's always at the top of your mind. Remember, when your goals are out of sight, they are also out of mind. And when you write these goals, be specific. Instead of saying, I want to be healthy, commit yourself to, I want to work on my diet and exercise, and then break them into actions with simple baby steps. For example, I will cut down my intake of fast food to once a month and exercise 3 times a week. Focus on taking tiny steps that can give you a boost of confidence. These small changes make it easier for you to stick to your new habits. And also, note down any obstacles that may stand in your way and how you should handle them. For example, what if you didn't manage to exercise 3 times a week? Or what if you run out of time and need to do a takeaway? This gives you a mental preparation on how you should stick to your goals and overcome anything that throws you off the track. Number 3, get support. Your environment triumphs your willpower. Having a solid support system keeps you motivated and accountable. So, explain to the people around you why these goals matter to you and enlist their help in giving you timely reminders and the encouragements when you need them. The yearly ritual of goal setting does not have to be an annual disappointment. Often, the difference is simply choosing the right goal and the process you use in achieving them. Most importantly, remember to be kind to yourself and be flexible with yourself. Celebrate any progress that you have made along the way. While keeping your eye on the goal, keep in mind that it is a journey along the way that matters. With that, thank you for spending time with me today, especially on the New Year's Eve. If you like what we have, remember to like, share, and subscribe. And let me know, in the comment section, What were you thankful for in the year 2020? And what do you hope to achieve in 2021? I wish all of you an awesome year ahead. Thank you and stay healthy, stay happy. See you!
So for 2021, do you have any personal goals for yourself? What do you hope to achieve?
I think personally 2020, the one thing that I really miss for like in terms of personal time is I think I stopped reading a lot, because I used to do that a lot, because like last time I used to travel a lot up and down to places, so I had a lot of like traveling time. So the one thing that I used to love doing is like taking out a book and reading. So I read like a range of like fiction, non-fiction and all sorts of stuff. But 2020, because a lot of the time was at home, and then you have this thing called Netflix. So I was just like, okay, let's just Netflix this show. So I think I binged way too much of shows, like way too many shows, and I think like it's given, like I don't know, I just feel a bit guilty that I spend too much of screen time. You know, like I think like I've almost become inseparable with my MacBook. Yeah, like I think I can do like live without my phone, but if you take my MacBook away, I think I'll be quite lost. And like knowing that, realizing that makes me feel like something is wrong. Like, you know, I'm gonna have to do something about it. So in 2021, the one thing I hope to do is like buy more like physical books or borrow, and actually like conscientiously read more books. You know, on a variety of topics, because I've really missed like just reading and like spending
Physical book.
Yes, correct. You know, and spending that time with just myself, like, you know, quiet when you read, or at least I tend to do that. I like tune out my surrounding and I can really read, you know, and I've missed doing that. And to keep up with my physical fitness, because I think in 2020 I have definitely become the fittest that I have ever been. Though nobody will believe that I need to be any fitter than I am. But yes, because I used to have very unhealthy eating habits. You know, you just, after some time you're like, okay, you're not going to gain any more weight than you already are, so you know, I'll just eat whatever I feel like eating and like sleep really late. But I think in 2020 I made the effort to eat better and exercise and like do what I'm comfortable with. You know, I'm not like aiming to get like a six-pack and everything. I mean, if I can get it, sure, why not? But just to make sure that I'm fitter, you know, and I feel better. And in 2020 I achieved that, and I hope that in 2021 that continues. The thing that I would love to do in 2021 is like maybe like sightsee in my own country a little bit more. You know, because you always think about traveling and then you get out of your country at the first opportunity that you get. And Singapore is very small, you know, so you have seen a lot of places, but it's been a while since you've seen these places. Like, you know, the Singapore Zoo, for example. You know, and I think it would be nice to spend some time in your own country, you know, to sightsee all of these places, because I think because we are a small country, we need that help for our economy more than I think bigger countries. Yeah, so that's something that I would like to do in 2021. So you can get me like, I don't know, a staycation at Marina Bay Sands.
Time to rediscover Singapore.
Yes.
So do you have a rough idea of what you want to achieve for yourself in the new year?
Actually, in the new year, one of the things I want to do is I want to spend more time like building my health better, to do more exercise and stuff, because I realized like this year I actually focus more on working and building my branding awareness. Yeah. So I wanted to spend more time on my health, and then another thing is to spend more time with my friends as well and my family. Yeah, even though this year actually we do spend quite some time with our families as well, but I feel that it's still not enough. And then another thing is I want to actually hope that I can do more collaboration with big companies or individuals to build my branding as well. Yeah, and also I want to increase my networking. So I want to network with more creative people, to know them, to network with them.
Right, so do you have any like a next personal goal for yourself, or anything you wish to achieve in 2021?
2021, I think it'll be a very interesting year. I think now that the vaccine is out, so definitely we hope that as a business we will be able to grow. And then personally, I think it would be a year that I want to take care of myself more, whether it's physically or mentally, and to just be mindful of how I spend my time. Because I want to like learn new things.
Like what?
Like maybe some new cooking technique. And also personally, I don't know, I'm not decided. I don't know, I really like to
explore.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So thank you. We hope that 2021 will be a great year for you and your team also.
For yourself.